Hey guys, I'm Ronit from Smallest, and in this video we'll take a look at how to edit and create a workflow for your AI voice agent. So I'll be covering the default nodes, the end call nodes, the API calls, the pre and the post, how to use loop conditions, how to use variables, how to test out your workflow, and a few tips and tricks to edit your workflow as well. All right, so first coming to the default node, um, there are two parts to it, two main parts to it. First is the node name, and then is the action. Now the node name is just for nomenclature. Sometimes your scripts become pretty complicated, so it's best to have a good naming structure for them. Right now I'm just going to add a greeting and reservation intent, and then there's the action. This is where your prompt goes in, what you want your agent to do actually. Give it instructions, use instructional words like ask, request, inquire, explain, or greet, or wish. So let's say for this, obviously, greet the customer politely and introduce yourself as Ronit's assistant. Ask the user whether they'd like to book a meeting with Ronit. And it's as simple as that. All right. And I'm just going to hit save. So to save on time for this video, I'm just going to go ahead and upload a script that I'd already made by hitting the upload button right here. I'm going to go to downloads. Okay, so I have already made this restaurant reservation assistant, and as you can see, it collects reservation details, handles special requests, confirms them, and then there is this purple node, which is basically the API call node. So any information that is collected in these green nodes gets sent to the restaurant's backend in this node. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You put in your request type, you put in the API link, any API timeout that you want. I think 30 seconds is a bit much. I'm just going to put it as 10. If your API requires headers or authorizations, go ahead and do that. And then comes the body. Now as you can see, I've put this reservation date under two sets of curly brackets. Now that makes it a variable. So I will have to go down, switch on the extract to variable button, and add all these variables. So I have about 1 2 3 4. I have 1 2 3 4. So I'm just going to add that right here, and this is basically an extraction prompt, a description of what to look for. So a reservation date in this format, as provided by the user. I'm going to do the same for the time. Okay, then there's a party size, number of guests provided by the user, and special requests, any special requests or dietary requirements. And so if you're new to this, I'm going to leave this piece of text in the description below. Now you can change this depending on whatever information you're getting from your agent. It could be the name, so I would maybe put this up as first name, or let's say let's go back to reservation date for a second. Okay, let's say you don't have any variables and you want to keep it as static, so I'll just put a date right there, right? You can do that as well, or even you can keep a mix of static text and a variable. So let's say your reservation date is, you can even keep it like that. So all these different variations I'll keep in the description for you to check out and play around. Now let's say you want some data back from the API as well, right? That is when you use extract response data. So what do I want to know? This is a restaurant reservation agent. I want a status confirmation, right? Or let's say booked. We can write table booked and table booked. What this does is it gives back confirmation, and then that piece of information the agent can use in their workflow. So okay, and here you can see status. Actually I should change that to table booked, or table booked. Okay, So in case this one is for in this one is for in case the table is not booked and whether it's booked. All right. So we've covered default nodes, we've covered API call nodes. Let's go ahead and cover the end call node. It's pretty simple. As the name suggests, you keep this at the end of the conversation. And as you can see, I have three different ones. Now, you do notice this piece of static text right here. This will also be available in your default nodes, like so. Static text is for when you actually want your agent to say something word for word. This is especially useful when you want to be clear about a few things, such as anything that has legal ramifications, or you're maybe quoting some policy document, right? So that is when you use static text. Now, you're noticing that I have this post call API and this pre call API as well. Now, what are those? They're the same thing, they're the same as the API call. The only thing is they happen after or even before the call is made. So I'd like to send a message, an SMS to the user, notifying them about their booking. So let's go ahead and add one right here. I'm going to connect it to this end call node. Now booking confirmed SMS. Give it a name. Added a dummy JSON. Post body. I just want to say it confirmed, and one comma is left. Okay, looks good. Need to add my link. Let's go ahead and test this out. Good to go. All right, so let's go ahead and check out what pre-call API is. Now I'm going to use a different example. Imagine you have some other sort of agent right here. Let's say a debt collection agent. So you've uploaded your contact lists onto Atoms, the numbers and the names of the customers that you want your agent to call. But you also want to connect it to your backend because you want to know how much are they owed to the bank, right? And so we'll just add a pre-call API right here. Check amount due. This is just a name, by the way. This is not a prompt, right? So I'm going to hit a get request and extract response data, right? Because this is the data we want back, the data that we want our agent to use in the call. So I'm going to write amount due and hit this as so. This is how you format these things. Let's just check it out. Seems to be working. And so now your agent can use that data in the call. For pre-call APIs, you can have as many of them in series. Make sure to note the fact that it's in series because they do not work in parallel. The requests go one at a time, and you can't have two requests going around at the same time. So you can keep as many of them in this call, extract as much information you want. And yeah, so let's go ahead and look at a few more tips that I have for you. Now, you're noticing all these branches and these blue lines right here, which I haven't covered. So these are called branches. There are two types. You can either have a prompt or a condition. So a prompt is pretty simple, self-explanatory. The main prompt comes right here. So right here I've said customer declines to book a reservation. And then there is an optional branch description. So when does a branch description become useful? So you give alternate explanations to your agent of when to take a certain route. Then we have the conditions part. Now this is pretty simple. Let's say the response includes a certain word or a certain letter, or you're asking them for a number and you want to decide based on whether it is more than 100 or lesser than 100, you want it to go into X branch or Y branch. Then we'll go on to loop conditions. Now, what are loop conditions? In certain scenarios, there are very important pieces of information that you want your agent to get from the user, without which you don't want to move on ahead deeper into the script. So, for example, you want to collect reservation details. Now, you need a time, a party size, and a date, right? So that is why I have switched this on right here, and I'll tell it to collect date, time, and party size. Then we have extract to variables. Now I have collected uh, date, time, and party size, so I'm going to add that right here. Uh, and so this you can then use in your API call node, which is right here. Now let's say now let's say you want to give your agent a bit more context about the business or the service or the product that you're providing, right? And there is no point keeping it directly in the nodes. So then you can use a knowledge base. So let's click on any node here. Right now it's grayed out. So let's go back to our configure page. One second, it's loading. So this is the configure page. Scroll down and here you can select knowledge bases. Let's just select this one right now. Okay, before going ahead, let me explain you what a knowledge base is. A knowledge base is basically a PDF, Word, or an Excel sheet that has more information about your business, your services, or your product. And you can have your agent go through them and help the customer out if they ask any questions that go off script. So, for example, we have a restaurant reservation agent right here. Let's say the customer asks, okay, what is the most hot selling dish that you have right now, or the most expensive one, or do you have like a pina colada in your menu, right? So that Ronit's Global Kitchen that I had inputted, I'll show you right here. This one, Ronit's Kitchen Global Database. It can access it right here in this node. So basically, if I ask the agent any question about the menu or maybe opening and closing times and dress codes and maybe dress codes, I can ask the agent for that right now, and it will give me an answer promptly. I have left I have left a link to a tutorial on how to use and how to upload knowledge bases onto Atoms. So do go ahead and check that out. You'll get a bit more understanding of how we use that here. All right. So I think that covers it. Just one more tip. Now this is pretty complicated. Let's say I want to add another node, but I don't want to keep dragging these one by one, right? So I'm gonna hit the control or the command button depending on which which device I'm using. So here you go. You selected all of them and you can drag them as per your requirement. Now a bit more about variables, but before I go ahead and explain that, you should check out the tutorial on audience list that I have on this channel. I'm also going to leave a link in the description for the same. So go ahead and check that out. In your script, you might have these variables such as the name of the user, you might have the reservation date, the reservation time. So before going ahead and testing those out in a test call, which you can click right here, go ahead and open this up. So the user variables are here. I can just input any date, any time, a party size, and all of this. I'm just going to put my name, confirmed, and special request vegan. So now when I test this agent out, it will end up using all these variables that I've just inputted. Okay, so then what are system variables? System variables are already supported within the platform. You do not have to add them into your script. So for example, the user's number, the current date, let's say the user says tomorrow or day after, like they're using a relative date instead of an actual date. So the agent will automatically figure this part out because they already have access to what the current date is. Yeah, and then finally you can test your flow. Just input your number right here and you'll get a call for free in the next 10 seconds. And once you're done with the call, you can also go back and check your call logs right here. This is a fresh agent that I had made, and so this is what the call logs look like for a agent. You can play the whole call or even read the transcript. Let's go ahead and read this transcript. Yes, and you can also download it. All right, and that's how you edit and create your own AI agents workflow. If you found this video valuable, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. I've been Ronit, and I'll see you in the next video.